From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
Daniels Roofing, licensed, bonded, insured roofing contractor. 45 years of generational expertise, offering a variety of roofing systems in the North State. Composition shingles, metal, tile, fire-safe wood shingles, and spray foam roofing systems. An energy-saving cool roof, perfect for commercial flat roofs and mobile homes. With other companies, you may get a foreman or a salesman, but with Daniels Roofing, you get Daniel. Call today for your free estimate. Daniels Roofing, 3 generations working hard to protect your home and business.
Well, if you're looking to get your hands on a pair of free Red Bluff Roundup rodeo tickets, well, now's your chance here at Weather NorCal. If you want to win those free tickets for the next Friday, April 18th big event, all you have to do to enter to win is just email your name to mkrueger@weathernorcal.com. And even easier, if you just go to weathernorcal.com, click on contact, fill everything out, and you'll be good to go. Now, the winner will be announced next Wednesday, April 16th on Coffee with Krueger. That starts at 6:30 in the morning. So be sure that if you enter, that you watch Coffee with Krueger next Wednesday morning. All right, here's a look at your weather headlines. It's going to be drier and warmer for the rest of the week. We've got a few North Coast showers here for your Thursday. That may linger into Friday, but a very insignificant event, by the way. A drop in our temperatures this weekend, but most likely staying dry, even though temperatures are dropping a bit. And then dry and warm for all next week. It looks like we're getting back in the 80s, as a matter of fact, even this week. All right, so take a look at your Wednesday, April 9th, Krueger's Quickcast here. So out the door this morning, it's going to be mainly clear out there for many of us, but temperatures are going to be in the 40s for most of the higher elevations. Some of the cooler spots and highest elevations will be in the upper 30s, but even the valley, quite mild at 8 a.m., should be about 50 degrees. So if you notice here, it was a fairly flat jet stream over the last several days where we saw the flow moving from west to east right over the Pacific Northwest and Northern California. But what's happening is high pressure right here is building in. So what it's going to do is see how now we're starting to see more of that flow kind of being diverted up to the north of the Pacific Northwest. That's where most of the rain and clouds will be. So we take a look at today, and yeah, I mean, we've got mainly sunny skies. Now in the afternoon, we may see some pop-up afternoon cumulus clouds for some of the higher elevations. So you may notice that in the valley, but of course the valley, you're looking at sunny skies here throughout the day today and clear skies here for tonight and another mild night into tomorrow morning. Heading out to the Mount Shasta Ski Park, looks like you've got some good conditions out there. Should be good at least for the first half of the day, then it gets kind of a little slushy for the second half of the day as we go into the last week of the season for the Mount Shasta Ski Park, and you are all clear on those roadways on up to the ski park. So for today, temperatures right around 80, give or take. Some of us may just dodge that 80-degree mark for today in the valley, but otherwise you're in the 60s and 70s for the higher elevations, and looks like somewhere in the upper 50s, even some low 60s for the valley. Taking a look at your 7-day forecast for the valley starting off with, and temperatures kind of going up, they start to drop. They go back up again. So we're seeing a little bit of a mini roller coaster ride, if you will, here, taking you the next 7 to even 10 days. Same thing for the coast. Now, what you'll notice here is that Thursday you got a few more clouds into Friday. There may be a few showers for, say, Eureka northward into Del Norte County, and it's not going to be all that significant. Very light rainfall, possibly. The inland may get caught up in some of those sprinkles, but overall you're just not seeing much wet weather. In Trinity County, you will be dry. And then, of course, it's dry as we go into the weekend and into early next week. Siskiyou, Modoc County, Eastern Mountains, you're looking at temperatures going up and down as well. A little bit up, then back down. In fact, a bigger drop on Saturday, but yeah, no rain, right? You're still looking at plenty of sunshine, and the temperatures kind of creeping back up again for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. That's a look at Krueger's Quickcast. You know, there's a free Weather NorCal app. Just go to your app store, search for Weather NorCal. Make sure there's a space between Weather NorCal. Download the app for free, and you'll be in great shape when you want to know what's going on with the weather. The best local source on your app, on your phone. There you can see that, again, that arc in the clouds. You see how it's kind of moving up and over that ridge of high pressure. That ridge will continue to build. So as it does that, it will continue to push those clouds up to our north. And we've got those sunny skies and warmer temperatures. You know, typically with high pressure, you get those warmer temperatures too. So once again, we take a look at Futurecast. And as I mentioned, some of those afternoon cumulus clouds developing in the higher elevations today. Now look at tomorrow. As we go through the day tomorrow, we have got an approaching storm system right here. Now, it looks pretty healthy Thursday morning, but by the time it moves closer to us, we're going to see it lose a lot of its energy. This is the tail end of that cold front, mind you. So as it moves closer to us, it's going to weaken a bit here. So you can see here's 5 p.m. Thursday. So again, Eureka, northward into Del Norte County. Look how insignificant that is. Yeah, you might see a little bit of light accumulating rain, say a few hundredths of an inch of rainfall here and there. And some of those inland areas like Hoopa, Willow Creek, Gas Key, for example, you might see, especially Gas Key, maybe some light accumulation, but mainly just some sprinkles for some of the inland areas of Humboldt County. Of course, southward, you're dry. Garberville, Redway, you're dry throughout the day tomorrow. And then going into your Friday, still some clouds left over, so we'll still call it partly cloudy, but it will be dry. So once again, you can clearly see that root of high pressure. See how it's building northward. That's going to keep us under the dry, mainly dry conditions. But again, that system right here, that's just clipping northwestern California Thursday into Thursday night. By Saturday, we've got a trough of low pressure, cooler air associated with it, but most of the energy associated with it will be to the north, which means any of that rain. So for us, the main impact will just be a drop in our temperatures. And it will be noticeable, but it's not going to be cold by any stretch of the imagination. That moves out, and then we've got high pressure. What's happening is high pressure is trying to build in here, and we do have it. Right, a little bit of that high pressure, but we've got this area of low pressure kind of undercutting that. So temperatures will be above normal, most likely through all of next week. We just got this little kink right here, but once that moves out, high pressure will get even stronger. And as a result, the Climate Prediction Center is picking up on that. This is something I mentioned yesterday. Remember I was saying it was kind of in that near normal, now it's above normal. I was saying, this will probably be bumped up to above normal because that's exactly what we're looking at when we take a look at that 10-day trend, at least for Redding. We are above normal. 70 is that normal high for this time of the year. We will be above that even with that dip in the temperatures on Saturday, and we're back up in the upper 70s to even 80s going through a good portion, if not all, of next week. So which begs the question, when do we typically start seeing 80 degrees for the first time, 90 and even over 100? Well, take a look at this. For the month of March, remember the month of March, majority of the days were below normal for that time of the year in March. So it was a cool March. Then we take you into this month. We started off cool, then we kind of warmed up, but still just slightly above normal here for Friday, Saturday, this past weekend. It was pretty nice, and the temperatures dipped down again a little bit here. So when do we typically see 90 degrees or higher, or not typically? When's the record, right? So March 17th, 1914 was the earliest we've ever hit 90 degrees or higher, and that was at 93 degrees. 100 degrees, May 4th, 1992, right there, you can see right there. Now, when we see 110 degrees or higher, the earliest we've seen it was on June 5th, 1926. So we're past due on this one. We are approaching that 100-degree mark here, but of course, it really has been pretty mild here, and it has been mild start to the spring season as well. Precipitation outlook by the Climate Prediction Center, we're getting these darker shades of brown indicating better and better chances of seeing below normal rainfall. That certainly looks like that's going to be the case here. So the lake levels are still looking healthy. Look at that. Shasta Lake has risen by 1 foot in the last 24 hours, about half that out towards Lake Oroville and a little bit less out towards Trinity Lake. But, we're seeing that capacity getting over 90% now for many of the lakes like Shasta Lake and even Oroville at about 90% and Trinity Lake at 88%. We're just continuing to see these lakes rise despite the fact that we're just not seeing much rainfall out there. It's that snow melt. We talk about that snow melt and that snowpack. That's a nice reserve for us. And when we start seeing that snow melt begin to melt, or the snowpack begin to melt, that also helps to see those lake levels rise as well. All right, the wave heights, they are decreasing here for today. That's why there are no small current advisories. Now, they will decrease on Thursday as well, but we start to see with that approaching system, maybe those wave heights beginning to increase a little bit here over the next couple of days. But look at the winds. I mean, they're from the northwest at 5 knots, so no big deal there, and no advisories in the forecast. Here's your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. Temperatures mainly in the 60s and 70s for your daytime highs. You are dry for the next 7 days, just kind of that little up and down trend with those temperatures here. Now, for the North Coast, I would say south of Eureka, you are dry on Thursday. But Eureka northward, yeah, you got that chance for showers here on Thursday, but not today. Today will be dry. And most of Friday should be dry as well. A little bit cooler for Saturday, warming back up as we go into next week. There's your Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast, 60s and 70s here as well. So it looks like about 71 degrees for Wairika, Weed about 69, as well as Mount Shasta City. Modoc County, temperatures mainly around 70, give or take. There you can see Tule Lake about 69, 71 for Alturas, and Aden about 66 degrees. Your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast, you've got those temperatures generally in the 70s here, although you see a little bit of that dip here over the weekend, going back up here for Monday and Tuesday. Your Valley neighborhood forecast to the south, I think on average for the Valley today, about 80 degrees, give or take. Some upper 70s, some low 80s in there. Chico, for example, about 80 today and tomorrow. That dip in the temperatures going into Friday and especially Saturday, but still above normal. And then we're back in the 80s by Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Your Valley neighborhood forecast to the north, probably somewhere in the mid-70s for Whiskeytown, Lakehead. Great day for a hike up in those areas. For the rest of us, generally around the upper 70s. Now again, some of us like Redding, and anywhere you see 78, 79. If you touch 80 degrees today, don't be surprised. But there you can see that 70 forecast for Red Bluff. There's that dip in the temperatures here, including Redding, as we do go into your Friday, and in particular on Saturday. 73 though. Boy, what a beautiful, beautiful start to the weekend. Temperatures increasing back up to about 80 degrees for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of next week. That's your morning update. I'll be back again at noon. Until then, have a great morning.
Caltrans is doing the best that they can with the amount of people and the amount of equipment they have, and they're out there trying to keep the roads safe and trying to keep everybody running, because if the roads shut down, truck drivers that are paid by the miles aren't making any money. So we want everybody to put chains on for the safety of themselves and the safety of the public. It's not worth it to drive without chains.